It's time for another episode of the 90-Day Garden. Dennis Daly goes back into the archives for another day in the life of a real garden as broadcast on radio back in 2000.
Hi everybody, this is Dennis Daly, and welcome to day 36 in the 90-Day Garden. Today we're going to step back just a little bit and look at the garden, figure out what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong, and what kind of experts we're going to have to call in to rectify the problems. One of the things we've had to do in the 90-Day Garden during the past few hours is to transplant some of our bush beans. I've been a little disappointed at the success we've had in our long row of bush beans. Only about 50% of them came up. But the 50% that did come up, of course, were scattered all over the area. So it wasn't the soil. It was either a problem in germination or maybe a problem in our planting process. So what we've done is to carefully transplant the good bush beans into one particular area so they're all growing together. Before the week is over, we're going to talk to one of our gardening experts and see if there's any kind of vegetable that can be planted, that it's not too late along the 90-day garden, so we can fill up the 10 feet or so that now have nothing in them. We are right proud of our broccoli. Now, you may remember the broccoli was planted from sets. The broccoli is now over a foot high. Each one of the plants doing well. The onions are coming up like gangbusters. Both kinds of lettuce look very, very nice. The corn is in a nice straight 40-foot long row. The beets may need to be thinned just a little bit. They are planted in our area where the tomatoes are along the fence, and there are tomato plants as far as the eye can see. We're keeping our eye on the one that's called Mr. Stripey. Now, if you missed it earlier when we were planting the Mr. Stripey tomato plants, these are supposed to come up and bear striped red and yellow fruit. So we'll have to see what happens. My main concern, though, is whether or not I did the right thing in transplanting the bush beans, in moving all of the good ones to one particular area. Hopefully, before the week is over, we'll get a definitive answer on that. Most transplants, though, do work. When you think about it, even trees can be uprooted. The answer, of course, is not to shock the plant too much, to make sure you carry enough of the root structure with you so the plant isn't really aware of the fact that it has been moved. So to go through it again, some problems with the bush beans, the lettuce looking great, the corn right on schedule. The broccoli, well, I think it ought to win an award at the county fair. The onions are doing fine, and the tomatoes have got a long way to go. They've suffered just a little bit. I think we gave them a chance to be a little bit frostbitten on the first day that they were planted. Should you talk to your plants? Does that do any good? What do you think about that? We'll talk about that when we get together next time in the 90-Day Garden.
Join Dennis again for another visit to the 90-Day Garden right here on YouTube.